So this Nike exec resigned because of this whole story coming out about her being involved in this reseller business. So we're going to go with resigns in air quotes because, I feel like that's also known as she gone. What's up, C Squad?
I'm Nigel C.
And I'm Daddy C.
Of Dad and Son.
Kicks and Cooking. If it's your first time to our channel, this is a spinoff of our main family channel, Loose Seeds. So be sure to go check that out. And here we talk about sneakers and cooking from a dad and teen's perspective. And today is a special episode we like to call What's Poppin'. We're going to talk about what's popping in the sneaker community right now. A big story that I'm sure you've heard about. It's going on all over the place.
This thing right here that we're about to be talking about,
You can say it.
is the vice president, one of the highest positions in one of the most expensive companies in the world, Nike, cheating at the game.
Well, that's not necessarily the verdict, right, on this story. So if you haven't heard this story, let's start there. All right, well, let's talk about the details of the story first, and then we're going to give our opinion and thoughts on it afterward. How about that? Nigel, I feel like you're already giving your opinion. You're thinking like the worst. So we're going to take it all the way back to the center. He's all the way down here. We're going to take it to the center.
Okay.
All right, so this Nike VP resigned after being kind of tied to her son's sneaker reselling business. So there's a lot of things that smell fishy in this whole story, right? They kind of say if it smells like, what is it saying? If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
I've never heard that saying in my life.
Oh, it's an older saying.
If it smells fishy, there's a fish.
All right, that's not a saying, but sure.
It is now.
So it could be anything. It could just be rotten food. Who knows? But anyway, so let's start with, all right, everybody is, well, in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. But this Nike exec's not even going to court, so it doesn't even really matter really what we think. But we're still going to talk about it. She resigned from the company. So she had a nice, soft exit from the company. Yeah. I don't think there's anything about her going to court or anything like that. Haven't seen any of that in any reports. But let's rewind a little bit. Details. This Nike exec, and Hebert, she was the VP and GM of Nike North America. Huge position. So she wasn't just, making decent money. She was making big money and running all of North America. And not just US, right? That's Canada and the United States.
And Hawaii.
Yeah, and Hawaii.
I didn't say that.
That's also Hawaii. And Alaska.
And
I'm just kidding.
You got to trick me again.
But listen. So think about sneakers, right? The Sneakers app that pushes out to Canada and the United States. She's behind all of that, or over all of that. She was implicated or tied to her son. So the son, he goes by the name of Joe West. And he has like West Streetwear.
Why does he go by that name? Like, it's not his actual name?
I guess.
He has like a superhero name.
Oh, yeah.
Joe West.
There you go, Joe West
rap name.
Of West Streetwear. I know, like a rap name. He's a personality, right? He's a guy.
Like Kanye West. Is that his actual name?
That's Kanye's actual name.
Like
John
Jay-Z. Legend.
John Legend. That's true. That's not his given last name. I think Jay-Z, right? That's not his name at all. That's his rap name. They also call it a moniker. You ever heard that word? There you go. But it could actually be the guy's name. But I think it's probably Joe Hebert. Like his mom's name is Ann Hebert.
Maybe.
Probably. But in the event, this kid is 19 years old, killing it in the resale game. And I don't knock people out there reselling doing their hustle. That's the thing. However, when you are able, first of all, you already plugged in because your mom is VP of everything, right? North America at Nike, the biggest resale participant out there. And he purchased over $100,000 worth of hype sneakers using her Nike corporate credit card.
That much?
That much. Right. Not like $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 worth of sneakers, right?
Jeez.
So this kid already plugged in. Mom's making bank. This kid is buying hundreds of thousands of product using her corporate card. But then that's still not it. It's so many layers to this thing.
That $100,000 is like being spent by Nike.
Yeah, it's coming out of Nike's pocket. Right, out of Nike's pocket. So it's just so many fishy things to this. Like, is she the one that got caught?
Right.
Is there more that's going on behind the scenes? We don't know. Speculation.
Kid probably just found his mom's Nike card and bought all that stuff. Something like that.
Well, that could have happened. I'll tell you what, though. That's going to make for a real uncomfortable home situation.
Uh-huh.
Because let me tell you.
I would never do that.
If you ever thought about that, that might be the end of you. But just think about this. He did that. Also, it was found out that he was using like her employee discount codes and things like that at Nike outlets.
Wait, okay. So first, he's taking his mom's card and going to the store with that card and using another discount and then selling it, reselling those shoes for even more money. He's basically spending nothing and making so much off of it.
Exactly. What do you think happened, how this all got found out?
I don't know. Judging by the way you said it, you're probably gonna be like, this all happened because of Instagram.
Ooh,
Look at me.
look at you. That's a good guess.
Thank you.
But yeah, so he got visibility because of Instagram, right? He has his page on Instagram, pictures of warehouse and just hundreds of thousands of boxes of Nike shoe boxes that all look the same.
Right.
I saw one and it was like I think the Jubilee 11s that just came out. And he said a couple pairs of 11s. The picture was probably like 500 boxes of the 11s in this warehouse room. Yeah, he just like chasing clout, just want to, flex and just pose in front of a picture of 100 boxes of shoes. Meanwhile, the average Joe Schmo, like myself, is on Nike sneakers like, oh, please let me get that pair when they release. And what do? Catch a L.
Right, I was on Rap Instagram page and everybody in the comments was like, so this is why I've been taking a million L's on sneakers. Everybody's been taking L's on the sneakers app because he's been on the sneakers app just buying every single shoe. Jeez.
But he did an interview with Business Week magazine and put all of his business out there, wanted to prove how much money he's making. And the income report shows a credit card that's on there. They didn't even know that he was related to this lady at Nike. Then they saw a card that was linked in there and saw her name on something. They looked her up, found out there was an Hebert at Nike, VP of North America. And then there's like the chips it was like the dominoes just kept falling and falling and falling and falling, right?
Jeez, he slipped.
Big time. And all to chase clout, right? To flex.
I mean, aside from chasing clout, he was also making like a lot of money off of it too.
A whole lot of money. And he wasn't just buying Nike, everything through Nike. He was buying Yeezy this and PlayStation 5s and all this kind of stuff. So he has a huge bot and resell business.
Jeez.
Yeah, but buying so much from Nike with all these connections. So lesson one to you and your 14-year-old friends, what's the lesson? What can you pick up from that?
First lesson, if you're gonna take your mom's credit card, make sure that she doesn't have such a high position.
Wrong.
Nah, I mean the lesson, right?
What's the lesson?
Lesson number one is to not steal your mom's credit card.
Correct. That's number one. If you're thinking of taking your mom's credit card or your dad's, don't, right?
Right.
But also, to tie back to the story though, there's no report in the story that's saying he stole his mom's credit card. Just that he used her card to make this purchase.
True.
So, was she a part of it? Did she know? Did she not know?
Right. So, that's really the lesson here, is that if you're gonna do all this very fishy stuff, don't slip that hard. He was in a whole interview, right? Took a picture of the report and had the credit card on, at least highlight it out or something.
All right, that's true. These are all true things. But back to the lessons I want you to pick up. One, operate your business legitimately, right?
Yes.
If you got the plug, man, you're plugged into Nike, VP, GM. I don't know what you do with that if you have a resale business. I'm gonna say it's probably a conflict of interest to do that in overall. If my mom is the VP GM of Nike, what am I trying to build this resale business for? That's my family's money, my family's livelihood that my mom has worked 25 years at before I was born. And now I'm jeopardizing that just by trying to come up. I probably want to do something else. That's going to cross so many different lines. It doesn't look ethical, and you're putting her job at risk, right?
Right. Yeah.
So don't do that. Work in something else. Deal in baseball cards, right? And like I said, I don't know if the mom was involved or not. We don't know that, but it's just so many things. So many things are part of the story. What do you guys think of this whole story? I mean, it's been all over the internet. I've seen so much. What's your take on it? We saw Nigel slapping his head earlier. You guys tell us down in the comments. You give your take, I'll give my take. Make sure you like and subscribe this video while you're there because it helps our channel. We want to continue to bring content to you like this, and hopefully you're enjoying this content, getting our take on things.
Let's see. My take on it is, well, I think that the whole reselling thing, I don't really think that's a big problem. I think actually, if your mom has that high position at Nike, then reselling is kind of, a smart thing to do because you can profit off of that a lot since you have so much access to stuff like that. But then, like you said, it's definitely just like conflicting with, that being your mom's thing for the past 25 years, and then you're taking all of that and doing like the exact opposite. So here's the thing, Nike probably would support reselling if you were buying the full price for the shoe, right? But then he's taking advantage of his mom's, access to the shoes and then using that to get the shoes. So that's definitely the wrong thing to do there. So I definitely don't support that.
I got you. That's good points, man. You make a lot of good points.
Thank you.
One big thing on that you said was the privilege, the access that he has.
Right.
And I think that he should definitely not be in the resale game at all because I feel like he's taking advantage of his privilege, right? Obviously, clearly, he's exploiting the privilege. So it's kind of like the concept of insider trading, right? You're not familiar with it. That's something that happens a lot on Wall Street and dealing with investors, where if I'm a VP at Honda of America, right? And tomorrow we're releasing the new fully electric Honda vehicle that's about to come out and revolutionize Honda sales. And I tell you, let's call you to Nigel.
Oh, and you work for Honda.
Right.
And I get it. Okay. So imagine you work for Honda, right? Honda head says, yo, Honda employee, we're about to drop the Honda electric car. And you're the Honda employee, right? You're like, Honda electric car? Let me call up my investor homies, tell them to invest in that. So
that's
you
it.
kind of give them the little hint because you know about the thing that's about to come up.
So yeah, you're right. That's exactly it. So you're giving tips from the inside, right, to your homies so they can profit.
Boom.
So this is
yes.
Supposedly there's implications. There's implications in this whole story that the mom was giving the son insight into hype releases that were coming out. So there's so many different things. I've said it like 10 times. This story is crazy. One thing I would say, like my take on it, is of course it's wrong. He should not have been doing that at all. He should be in a whole different arena away from sneakers altogether. Like you're trying to flex as the sneaker guy. Okay, your mom is the VP GM for Nike North America. We get it. What more do you want, right? The one piece I'll say to that is this and Hebert and Joe West, are they one of many or were they just a one-off? Did they just happen to be the ones dipping and doing this? Playing with house money, right? Like they're gambling in Vegas, just playing with house money, none of their own money, and just turn it over.
Right.
Are there executives at Nike that's on the board of StockX and GOAT? You know what I'm saying? On the back end, they say, listen, if I make a shoe that costs me $60 to make, I sell it to the consumer for $170, but then at StockX, people are flipping it for $2,000. How long is that gonna go on before the Nike execs and people there like, wait a minute, that's crazy. Let me go get some of that money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of corruption, I think, is what this is exposing.
Let's I think you stop before you go missing or something, because Nike
start to peel back the onion.
Yeah.
All right. These are just thoughts.
Yeah.
These are just thoughts.
Nah.
I'm not implicating or accusing anybody of anything. I love capitalism.
I love Nike.
Clearly.
I love
clearly.
shoes. Nike.
I love sneakers. I don't ever want to jeopardize future relationships.
No.
However, there's just, bad actors that do bad things sometimes, right? You can't control everybody. Overall, it's a crazy story. Hopefully, I think Nike got her out of the way, said, all right, she resigned. They thanked her for 25 years of service. She left out, got her probably, stock probably worth millions since she's been there 25 years. And they probably hope a week from now, this whole thing will be in the past.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world, but
wild things.
they're a big corporate machine. They're gonna put tons of PR behind this whole thing, I'm sure. Hopefully, again, it blows over in like a week or so.
Right. Now, Seed Squad, does this change your view on Nike? Because having somebody this high up in Nike doing something like this, this might make you think about what Dad was saying earlier, which I won't mention because I'm not trying to go missing. But, you know, if you think about that, that could really change your views on like the company as a whole. So does it? Let us know in the comments.
Does it affect your take on resell?
Right,
Paying,
that too.
paying resell, right?
Right.
Yep. And what is your thoughts on resell? You know, buying resell, you know, going to StockX and paying, you know, when you can't get something on launch day at the different stores and outlets.
Right.
You know, is it affected now? Do you feel like this is unfair? That some of these other people out here unfairly, you know, hogging up all of the inventory and then forcing you into this position where you got to spend so much more money to get what you want.
Right, but you know, you have to spend more money, but you have a higher chance of getting it is the thing. So, you know, it's kind of like a win-loss situation, you know, more stock, also more money. So, well, we will see you next time on the next video. Go watch that right now. Peace.